Really pumped for this one. If you get an opportunity, go back and check out the Native White Shopify Rebellion VOD to kind of get an idea of what to expect in this series, because we saw a lot of really cool things from Rebellion. Firstly, the strongholds from Rebellion, as I had mentioned, Shades of Quadrant, scary. They shut down their opponent, and it was systematic the way that they did it. Multi-lane pushes, constantly trying to just be in the face of your opponent, and Native White had no solutions. How do you do that against a Native Red team, though?
I mean, the fact that they did it against Quadrant says that they can do it against anybody.
That's true, you know, and I think that goes without saying, right? That Native Red knows that Shopify Rebellion have been putting in that work. You knew that this was on the path, and this is your series layout. Live Fire Stronghold, Street Slayer, Recharge Oddball, and if necessary, we go to Solitude, King of the Hill, and finally, Live Fire Slayer. Based on the history of these two teams, I think we're gonna need 4 or 5 maps to determine who's gonna get the win on this one. Last time these two teams played, it was a 3-1 win for Native Red. Rebellion was able to get that first blood.
The very first game.
The very first game. And they're good at that. They're good at those first game wins. But you gotta have that consistency time and time again. Otherwise, well, I mean, you'll be looking from the stands.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw that early success with Shopify against Native White in our last series. We saw them essentially win the very first game and a half.
Yeah.
Because they dominated the King of the Hill on Live Fire. Game number 2, when it came to Slayer on Recharge, they were up by a significant margin and then dropped that game. They dropped a 10-kill lead where Mental had a killing frenzy.
Hence the game and a half. We were like confused by this. We were like, wait, how does this make any sense? Shopify were just dominating. And then, just like that, Native White found that next gear, and they were able to get right back into the game. With Native Red, I feel like this is a team that once they get comfortable, and I feel like they're starting on that path, and Suppress being a part of this lineup is quite dangerous. It's going to be very difficult for Rebellion to have to make a stop here, but this is it, folks. We're jumping into the action. Live Fire Strongholds, Map 1. Shopify Rebellion versus Native Red as we get ready for the game to start up here in a moment, and the teams are getting ready to go. There's a lot of pressure, Dave. A lot of pressure.
So much pressure, in fact, that I think we should take a step back.
Yeah, we should. We should reset for a second.
We should regroup.
We should regroup, give people more time to sit down on the stands, you know, do the thing. ¿Sabe?
So yeah, we'll make sure we get these players loaded up the lobby shortly and get ready to start it off. But
Debate.
I can't say enough about these two teams and how evenly matched they are. Like I said, I feel like if I had to predict this just going off of stats, not going off of what I saw earlier today, I almost feel like it's game 2 and game 5 going for Rebellion. However, I do feel like 1, 3, and 4 are going over to Shop. Or sorry, are going to Native Red.
Native Red.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that makes total sense, especially when you consider like hot start into Slayer. Yeah, Rebellion like to get that first win, and it does serve them well a lot in the past. It's just going to be so hard to pull that off against Native Red. But hey, man, stranger things have certainly happened here. And to be completely frank, it doesn't matter where the chips fall, because either team is deserving in this position. This is a very difficult group. 3 teams, unfortunately, because Ascending Baseline couldn't compete. So really, it's a bloodbath in there, man. It's just 3, Native and Shopify. Crazy. This is it. Let's jump into the action now and start things off with Mental from Shopify Rebellion. And we'll see what this opening gambit's going to look like here. But immediately, we're going to see some trades being given off on both sides here. But Suppress answers with 2 of his own. B's going to be up for picking, and that is going to go straight over to Native Red.
Both teams got the same memo and said, all charge over at B and fight for this spot. Taulek, now with the snipe, setting up for this OS. Can he get this crucial pick? He doesn't have as much help over here. Mental getting the first pick on to Manny. Suppress getting a pick on Mental himself, and that's going to be OS going in the hands of Shopify Rebellion. But he's getting slung out into the open. He's going to get sniped because of it. But it looks like Taulek has already repositioned and picked on other members of Shopify Rebellion.
There you go. So Cykul's able to get those 2 kills. It took some effort, but he was able to secure it. I do want to talk about briefly that whole play and how it went forward, because grab sniper in mid, come over to the garage, get the eyes on overshield with 2 seconds left, and then you pop a smoke screen on it. You put pressure on the window player, and then they get the overshield. Both teams knew exactly what the other team wanted to do. And it has just led really to this kind of like, I don't want to say stalemate, because Native Red are in the lead right now, but man, just brilliant plays, micro plays that these guys are making. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely incredible plays. We're going to see How does SoulSnipe decide to play this? It feels like it's almost too good to be true. But at some point when you're not seeing any action, you're like, well, why can't I just go tip my toe in there just for a little bit, see how warm it is?
I want to see how the water
I don't think it's got to be that bad.
And then you end up dead.
Yeah, but right there, like we said, just too good to be true, because if pressure was not being received over at the C Stronghold, you know they're all over at scoreboard and A garage. So he kind of walked right into the trap, even though he knew something was awry.
Yeah, and that actually opens things up quite a bit here for Shopify Rebellion. They're now able to add some points to the board here. So you take a look at RyaNoob's perspective. Nice little fadeaway nade there to take out Taulek. Heat wave available too. And they do have positioning here. 2 members down. They're trying to go for this trip cap as well. It's going to put the pressure here on the blue squad to just try and make some moves.
Yeah, and getting that opening kill on Taulek, breaking out of that garage. We are now seeing a trip cap here from Shopify, so any missteps can be so costly here against these squads, especially with how fast-paced these two teams play.
Yeah, I mean, Rebellion has been flying around the map, and Native Red have pretty much met them every single time. That's pacing that you certainly don't expect to see this early in the tournament, but this is what it's all about. Halo World Championship. Have a chance to put your name in history, and a lot of these players have been close. You know, they put your name in the history books, you're right there. Big opportunity here in Seattle. It's going to be 2 caps now, A and B for Native Red. Rayne trying to suss out where these targets are going to be coming from, but Manny's able to get 2 for his effort. It's going to be 3 down now for Shopify Rebellion. Just continues to look good for Native Red, who have already added on to a sizable score here at the start of the game.
And look at this fantastic movement. Return to sender on over towards Mental with that frag grenade, but these players around those pillars, I remember we saw also in the last match when we saw, I believe it's SLG just dancing around that pillar against Na'Vi. Players just learning even better in the second year of Halo Infinite how to maneuver and best disguise themselves around the map.
That's what you have to do, play your life. Every single respawn is super valuable at this level of play. B's up for grabs, so they're going for the reset. RyaNoob, he moved away to the mid over towards sandbags to just try and support anyone pushing in the middle, but instead his teammates end up dying right before they go for that cap on B, and that's just going to continue to add on for Native Red. Certainly has to sting for Rebellion here.
Yeah, and RyaNoob kind of caught in a difficult position. Made a bold play to continue to rotate on over towards Nest, hoping to help his teammates from Garage, but both sides get picked apart, and Mental, the only one alive. Overshield popping up in the hands of Taulek. Native Red in such a strong position right now.
Taulek did eat a melee there, so he is going to stay alive for the time being. He's got 2 players down low, easy pickings for him. Uh-oh, shades of, all right, I like that. I like that you want to bust out the bandit there. I wonder why.
A little taste next year.
Manny now, as well as the rest of Shopify Rebellion, tussling down low here. You got yourself 3 caps for Native Red. They have been on fire at the start of this series here and showing no signs of slowing down. And I think that if you are Shopify Rebellion, you have to find a solution, figure it out. What are they doing so well here that you can try and maybe replicate or even try and exploit? And I just don't know if they have the time to figure this out here.
Yeah, this one's just difficult when they have so much slaying power. I mean, you now have 3 down. We did see Shopify do a great job getting a trip cap last time they got advantage. They have a trip cap now. If they get around to slaying here, this can start to bring them right back in the game.
We'll see how much they're able to benefit from this.
Amazing flank right here, by the way.
It is.
Unexpected.
Look at
Taulek getting shot in the back. Panicking entirely.
He just hit him with every single piece of utility that he had in his arsenal just to remove that player. So effective with that. And that is going to open up A side, so they do secure that. 105, 162 and counting for Shopify Rebellion as they're trying to get back into this game, and they're so close to doing so here. And this is Cykul with a hot hand, a good run that he's been able to put together here, and I think he's doesn't want to slow down anytime soon.
He doesn't. He wants to run across the whole map. He wants to experience this whole world. He hasn't went to back a tower or yet, but he's went everywhere else. He's exploring everything that Livefire has to offer.
That's right. The sights, the sounds, the trees and water. I think. I don't know. I haven't really looked. But in any case, though, he keeps on going. What a run that Cykul's been going on here. Locking down B by himself as the rest of his teammates try and just remove the rest of the problems across the map. Yet another overshield grab as well for Native Red. Has to be heartbreaking for them there, but For Shopify Rebellion, that is.
But back in the game, though, they did
That's
what
true.
they set out to do. They got a trip cap. They closed about 100 points there once they got that trip cap, and they're right back in this. It gets scary once you start to get that big of a deficit. So for them to just run around, get all the slays, Cykul still might even be alive, helping with the tourism board from Livefire.
Yep.
But yeah, just doing everything right there. But mainly and most importantly, getting those slays and getting those points back on the board.
All right, B's about to get grabbed here, so SoulSnipe's going to go for an angle potentially inside of the garage, courtesy of the heat wave, which he got on the way over here. He's timing that one. Sniper battle in front of him. Does he stay alive out of this? The sniper, nope. Instead, it's actually going to be mental going down. SoulSnipe is profiting off of that one greatly. 2 players down now. He's got this snipe angled right toward mid, but he knows where the push can potentially come from here, right toward dummies. He's able to cap 1.
Looking for other spawns there, realized came alive, and damage has been done. Can he get the finish? Yes, he does. That is going to be a continued control here for Native Red. They only have 2 of the strongholds at the moment, but damage is still racking up. He needs a BR, though.
Yeah, he needs a gun.
He's a bandit. He needs something.
Look, to your left, buddy. There's a gun there. There's a pistol. Just grab it. I'm trying to help you out here. Look out for a brother, but I guess he has other plans here. He's got 1 shot left with the snipe, too. Here comes the push now. 3 members. He's only got 1 bullet. Maybe he pulls off a miracle here. Get close. This is ridiculous. Okay, thank you.
Got the BR finally.
That's what I was saying, because if he does that, I would lose my mind. But 227 now, Rebellion trying to add on to this. And if they do a trip cap like they did a little while ago, Dave, they can really catapult in this lead if they want to.
They can. Last time we saw them get about 90 points in the trip cap. However, the pressure comes to be is this next step that Native Red gets could be the game ender. It's not unheard of to get 20 points, especially when you know you just have to slowly close it out. They just need a round of slays, and Native Red could close this out, but we're gonna have to see. Shopify have 1 or 2 pushes left here. Right here's gotta be the deciding battle. Rayne fighting Taulek from the nest, trying to repulse out, delaying as best he can.
5
but we
points.
do have mental inside the hill. A pistol finish from Suppressed all the way across the map.
Give it to the boy.
Him and Cykul.
Damn.
I love that roar there.
That was good.
Suppressed roars after the long range and close range pistol fights to secure game number 1 here for Native Red.
It was 1 push that they had, Dave. They spawned all the way back tower. For all week, it could have been a football field that they were crossing. It just would have taken forever for them to get to that point. And when you have these players hitting the way that Native Red are hitting, it is quite dangerous. And Native Red are going to go up 1-0 here. Live fire strongholds, a game mode that you know, intelligently enough pointed out, Dave. This was a game mode very good for Native Red. You felt confident with them. Now it's time to see if map 2, Slayer, works out for Rebellion. But we'll take a look at some of the highlights here.
Taking a look. This is also interesting. We've seen so many periods throughout this game where Native Red were holding that window. You saw SoulSnipe going back there. You saw Taulek going back there. You saw them going for the spawn slays on players going towards dummies. Just holding that position quite a bit more than I've expected and also really seen in setups from teams.
Yeah. There's certainly a layer of the game right now, as you had mentioned before, Halo Infinite just getting older and people getting more familiar with the game and participating in these tournaments. You're starting to see just all these little micro things start to pop up. Right? Small details that these players are trying to focus on. Where do you bank your grenade? How do you angle this? Where do you position here? And these 2 teams, I think, are really good examples of that, because they're going to be the ones that keep pushing this game forward, right? With the speed and aggression we saw from Native Red, a lot of teams last season picked up that aggression, right? With the exquisite stronghold plays and the way that Quadrant approached the game, a lot of people picked up on that too. There's learnings, and it's been exciting to watch these teams get better and better each and every event.
Yeah, they're looking both scary good. Taking a look at this head-to-head, though, between Suppressed and RyaNoob, a 1.07 KD versus RyaNoob 1.04 from Fort Worth. Let's see how these 2 teams show up here today, though, at the Halo World Championship. That event was not too long ago, but we're in a whole different environment.
That's right.
Whole new city up here in Seattle. And Shopify Rebellion, they really need this game too.
They need it.
They're favored here, and they need it.
Yeah, this is pretty much, you know, do or die to a certain extent for Shopify Rebellion here. They just can't give up anything else as far as the pool play goes because of the 3-team group. But we're going to start things off with Suppress, one of our players to watch coming out of that last game there. Great help from Manny, but RyaNoob, the other player we were checking out, picks up a double with those rockets.
Shopify, like you said, getting those rockets. RyaNoob being aggressive, making this push, knows that a stalk rifle's around here somewhere at Tram, but both these players playing a little game cat and mouse, hiding from each other and running away.
Yeah, and that time around, it was a pretty much a who wants to play a game of chicken. And Suppress and Rayne were just...
Don't need to bring a third animal in this GB. I already said cat and mouse.
You did. I'm so sorry. I apologize to all the cats and mice that are out there.
We'll stop horsing around.
Ah, okay.
Right,
well, I hate
stop. Calm it down. It's time
Calm
to
it down, David. It's World Championship. Come on, man. Some decorum over here. This isn't the Bonanza. 7-4 total in the count here is Native Red. Wanting to get it 2-0 against Shopify Rebellion really would be quite the downer for Rebellion after a few of the maps that they've had. So that's why Rebellion are going to try and keep this one close, which is what they do. 7-7 tie now with a few big kills coming in. SoulSnipe as well as Suppress going down. Manny is going to fall victim there as well. And I like that every time Rebellion and Native Red, like either side, they're in these fights. There's always trading.
Yeah, kills are just answered. We're not really seeing 2 kills secured, no deaths. It's 2 kills secured, one of your players has to go down.
Yeah, it's like an agreement that they all have with each other here. At least until we hit like maybe the halfway mark, and then it's like no holds barred, you know?
No, just these players know how to trade damage so well. Like you see right there, they're not afraid to sprint, slide, trade on melee, and somebody's there to answer that last headshot if necessary. 2 melee straight out there between Taulek and Mental. And like we said, we have yet to see one team really get all 4 down and get some sort of spawn trap. This might be the very first chance we see Mental, the only one left alive here for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, and he's going to hang out over toward the cafe. They got the rockets, Native Red, so they take that away from Rebellion, who had a great opening strat to get those rockets early on. Now with these, maybe, you know, that could be the difference maker here. Or, you know, you just get one out of it. But either way, you keep it out of the hands of your opponent. That's the most important thing, and it opens up a side of the map for you. Oh, I like this.
Pushing on over. Tricked by the threat sensor, thinking that nobody's there since he checked. False sense of security right there. And 3 down again for Shopify Rebellion, but these kills have been traded back and forth. So it's not like the 3 kills for Shopify. Shopify also took down 3 members of Native Red over the course of the last 15 seconds.
It just keeps happening every single time a kill comes through, it gets traded out instantly. And I was going to say a 2-kill swing potentially for Native Red. It gets answered back right away by Shopify Rebellion. Suppress now over toward B steps. Waiting to see if maybe there's going to be some easy pickings here. He does manage to find one. It's Mental. He was very weak inside of tires. And he has a teammate putting pressure over toward the backside on A. And even though Taulek is going to die out of that one, they're able to add some damage to this here. But the kills are going on the side of Shopify Rebellion. And then you get yourself a few more for Native Red. They're right next to each other. It's been constant this whole map.
Yeah, it's been so close this entire time. Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen much more of a lead than 3 outside the very beginning of this game. It's really been trades back and forth. We're going to see if that changes here in 15 seconds with this new set of rockets. Unlike the last time we saw Shopify Rebellion play this against another native roster, we are not going to have this one go to time at all. Last time we went to a time. It was a tie in the first play of this.
That was a genius play that we just saw there. So smart. The player top of Tram was pulling so much attention that the other player came around from B steps and just beamed him, ruined him, and that gives RyaNoob another rocket. So they were using that bait and switch to get themselves a power item, and they successfully do so. And as you mentioned before, you talked about the native white game. RyaNoob took his time with those rocks. Okay, there it is. Okay, I was about to say, if he gets back here, that would suck. But he takes his time with those rockets, and he's very methodical with them. And that's kind of, it's been good and bad, because I think in that native white game, if he would have pushed, maybe they could have gotten 1 kill out of that. But you know, he's just such a methodical player. He's probably thinking like, let me not just go ahead and throw these out willy-nilly. It's that intelligence that takes you to this level.
Well, we're speculating how RyaNoob is calling this out, playing this. Let's hear it from themselves. We're going to go to listen with Shopify Rebellion and hear how they're going to try to close out this game number 2.
Give me a sec. Still two. Give me a sec. Still one. All right, all up. I'm coming now. Three. I'm coming.
Really good damage. Dead, both dead.
Close on me. Going. You have post 2 seconds.
Second guy.
Plants me coming?
Both skin.
Both really weak. Nice.
Switch out, going down.
Should be C spawn. Gonna be down.
I'm
Red,
yeah.
ice cream.
I got one.
Nice kill. Watch out. They'll be playing for Ryan in a second.
Yeah. Top 5.
I'm pushing this out with you. Yo, hey.
Post. B steps up. And arcade.
Yeah.
I got one. Watch out, arcade.
Watch arcade. Dead.
Nice.
Fucking shit, Tim. 4 more kills. Rounds 20.
4 kills remain for Shopify Rebellion. They can tie the series up 1-1. Excellent calls. And even hearing them say they're going to play for Ryan. They're going to play for Ryan because they know that he's causing problems in the back line.
That's how you know you've been a nuisance behind enemy lines. Just
one more.
playing on that 1 kill away. Native Red somehow have to play perfect Halo for 9 kills in a row to somehow bring this game back. They've got 1 kill. They make it 2 kills.
This is doable.
7 still to go, and this is going to be a tall order. RyaNoob going to take his own hands, trade out melee against Manny, and close out game number 2. We got ourselves a series.
Oh, yeah, baby. You love to see it. Rebellion managed to dig deep, pull off a win 50-45. This map plagued them in the Native White game. This map and mode. So for them to be able to pick up the win here, has to feel like a bit of a monkey off their shoulder a bit, you know?
But that is the game that they need to win. Now the real test comes to be here in games number 3 and games number 4 here. Shopify Rebellion want to extend this series to a game 5 where they are favored. But these next 2 games, favored for Native Red.
Yeah. Oddball recharge coming up next for map 3. But got to give credit where credit is due. Cykul's been playing a great series thus far. And yeah, he's on the top damage, top of scoreboard, but really, I think if you look at what he's been doing this game, he has been setting up his squad for success so many times, opens up the lanes for guys like RyaNoob, guys like Rayne to go in from the flanks, do what they need to do. Meanwhile, you have an excellent Native Red team that thrives in that aggression, plays to very much a speed that is hard to counter at times. It's a clash of titans, I feel like. These 2 teams are, it's evenly matched, man.
Well, they got good, fast playing speed, but check out our broadcaster speeds. We're going to go to another game right now. We're going to watch some LVT versus Na'Vi right now on the side station and see how they're going about here in this game number 1 on Live Fire Strongholds.
We were watching the Na'Vi game earlier against Quadrant. What a matchup that was. Glory hopped off in that series. Unfortunately, toward the end, kind of teeter off a little bit, but then you had Snipe Drone picking up the slack as well. So Na'Vi are hitting at this event. They just need to keep this going and not let that Quadrant loss set them back too much.
Absolutely not. I mean, they knew they were not the favorites going against Quadrant, but they also put up an incredible fight. We saw them take game number 2. We saw them take round 1 in their oddball live fire. We saw them have moments. Now they just need to bounce back, build off that, and continue to make some moves to cool play.
He's going to get flipped for LVT. 3 players tucked away toward dummies. And remember, folks, you can watch this over toward the C-Stream. And I think also the friends over at LVT Halo are also covering this one as well. So make sure you go ahead and give those guys some love. Awesome what they do for the community. And Glory with a double kill there is looking quite solid thus far if he can keep this going. Diagram now, getting a lot of pressure, but look at the way he's handling this. A 360 kill. Somebody stop this man.
Also, keeping in mind all the teams that are in this pool, it's very high likelihood that whoever wins this match is going on to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Meaning that this, if you don't win this, you're pretty much done for.
Yeah.
You somehow would have to beat Quadrant, you have to beat these other top teams inside Pool D.
And also, I mean, yeah, FaZe Quadrant, LVT Na'Vi, and on top of that, LVT took a map off of FaZe as well. So you know that it's there for them.
They got to string it together somehow, but this is the absolute best chance for both these teams to go on tomorrow. You don't want to put it into fate to have to beat a FaZe or beat a Quadrant.
Not at all.
To get your tournament life just back in line.
Yeah, and we're looking at a trip cap happening here for LVT. as A's getting pressured. B was going to get grabbed for a brief moment there, but it ends up getting flipped. This is opening up the floodgates here for LVT to wrap up this first map here. The calls are coming through, diagram, letting them know exactly where they're going to be located. 2 players right outside, weak in the knees as well. As he comes around the corner, should be able to pop the second one there. He knows exactly where he's going to be. And that is just going to continue to add on to LVT's just enormous score total that they've been able to conjure up. 231, excuse me, to 158.
Yeah, and they're stopping the bleeding, but it's just stopping the bleeding. Points still ticking up here. They now have to make the obvious push on over towards B. Feels like they're already committed towards B as well. They could decide to make a different push all the way towards A, but 2 members fall down. Diagram and crew know where the players are at. Jimbo, the last one standing.
And this should very well be it. Once they lock this down, if they can secure or just hold on to their, their home flags, wherever that may be, either A or C, they got to actually bounce back off of this one. Can be quite problematic, but there it is. So they swapped it. They get the reset on B, and then they'll be good to go. 3 points remaining in LVT. So close, and they have to flip this A site here. So there's still going to be some game to play. Navi trying to make something happen here as they're looking to make the flip happen.
Mighty.
And they get it.
Mighty somehow getting the flank and the shots from the side and getting that cleared. What looked like an absolute game over here could be the start of a miraculous comeback.
Uh-oh. Oh boy. This could actually be nuts. Okay, so they do manage to get the flip, but unfortunately, guys, you can check out all the action over toward the C stream, HCS Red on Twitch, or you can go to LVT Halo and check them out as well. We got a series that we got to follow here as we jump back over to Shopify Rebellion Native Red.
Yep, kicking off game number 2. We got recharge, oddball. Nobody going for that ball right off the start, just like it happens in all my matchmaking games.
Dave, maybe you're the problem.
I'm not going for it. I got to go for some slaves, man. It's not my job.
Oh, okay.
I picked the ball. Someone else go grab it.
Yes. Selfish. Oh, man. All right, well, ball still up for grabs here. Native Red's going to be the first one to gain possession of it. He's got a lot of help over toward the elevator, too, with new spawns coming in. Even though there's going to be one member toward tower, that's mental. He's not really in a position to make any moves quite yet. He's got help now. As Manny goes in for the kill, but he's going to take some shots from above as well. So, this is a bit of a rock and a hard place situation to be in. Yeah, somehow Manny's still alive.
Somehow still remains there over in the pit. Gets the pick onto Mental, and they got to stop this push here from control over towards elevator. This is going to decide who's going to be able to hold this ball for a bit. It looks like Native Red decides to scrap up some time. Sometimes this can be scary, though. You do not want to risk losing the fight in elevator because you not only lose control of the area, you lose ball time, and there it is. They went from a time where they had a setup and they could have maybe both been firing together to now have to retake elevator.
Yeah, it's a bit of a precarious situation that they find themselves in here. Cykul stays alive with the help of that metal pillar, but he's getting, I was going to say mental. If he ended up getting backbacked out of that one, it would have been super unfortunate, but this is going to stabilize Shopify Rebellion and add a few more points to the board here for them.
Yeah, Mental putting some time on the board. Most kills, most time, least deaths. Already off to a great start here for Shopify Rebellion and Mental. They now have the lead, and they now have to play this cautious. Keep in mind, Native Red did not get a play ball last time they had the elevator set up. Mental, preemptively play balls it before he reaches too much pressure. Also wins a one-on-one against Manny.
That was very big. We'll see, though, how that maybe has ramifications a little bit more. But suppressed now, holding down Whirlpool. SoulSnipe gets himself the camouflage, but the ball's still going to be available. 2 players down, courtesy of RyaNoob, though, finally is going to get cleaned up himself. Mental in a interesting position here just to try and challenge his elevator with that ball down low. He's going to need some support. You know exactly where these players are going to be positioned here, and good heads up, just awareness. He knew he was getting shot from behind, back down low. It's just wild to think that this guy, former Gears of War pro, has just continuously grown event after event. In Halo.
Yeah, that motion it's so hard to remain calm during those situations. Understanding where the shots are coming from, back, repositioning so that you can still hit your shots, focus on that kill, and then worrying about that second threat later. This guy looks like he's been playing Halo for years.
Yeah, that's when you're our championship-winning professional gamer, you know what the work.
Good gamers are good.
Yeah, almost right.
Yeah, what the heck?
Who would have thought? Oh, a stick there from Taulek over toward Rayne. SoulSnipe knows he is the target over toward long hole, as the B is now going to be, or sorry, the ball is going to be up for grabs here. No one's going to go for it quite yet, as everyone's jockeying for position. Also, don't forget that camo is going to be popping up here. Gold plays pretty big. Mental opens up this side of the map. Can anyone wrap him up here and get him out of this position? Doesn't seem like it.
Enemy has the ball.
Look at this. Objective efficiency wants to just continue holding this until one of his teammates comes on over. Even though he has the weapon to do a little more damage across the map, he's going to wait until he can pass that on over to a teammate. Unfortunately, gets taken out by Suppressed, the last member alive.
Yeah, that guy got right through. It was unfortunate. Pretty much the worst timing you can have. RyaNoob, I believe, was over toward long haul, and I think he had taken the steps at that point. That player jumped up from boxes on long, came back in. Just Halo timing 101. It kind of puts things a bit on its side here. The ball now over toward the Hydro side of the map. And that shock rifle hasn't really been getting all that much, but it's just really just having that weapon on this side of the map could actually be quite nice for Shopify if they decide to go for it and try and use it to stop these players coming in from the tower side.
Yeah, but there's all 4 down on Shopify. Native Red get a chance to set this ball up over at the Hydro. We critiqued them a little bit before when they had the ball over at Elevator. They never got to play ball. Let's see if they make the same mistake again. I highly doubt it. Generally, when you commit over towards Hydro, that ball is either putting time on your team's scoreboard or it's going off the map and going for a swim.
Yep, and I think that is exactly what's going to happen here. A play ball and good call. Observers is going to head right over to the bats. Now RyaNoob in that gold steps here. Actually, huge win there for Taulek, because if RyaNoob stayed alive, that is not a guy that you want in this particular position to try and stop you from gaining control of this ball.
Yeah, Taulek just laying down some more shots. Knows that there's some resistance over in the pipes. Just has a really unfortunate timing there. I believe he missed that player. Yes, now he gets shot in the back from those gold stairs.
Still trying to contribute as much as he can, though. Even though he knows that he's beeping constantly, there's not really all that much he can do besides put shots forward and hope that his teammates are there for the cleanup. Here comes Rayne. Over toward Whirl. 2 players now at Elevator, and that was great too. Rayne could have easily committed to that fight. That player was weak, he could have kept going, but he knew that it was just too good to be true. Backed away, he's able to get a trade.
Would have walked right into the trap, also put himself in a position where if that person doubled back and ego challenged, he could have got that easy finish. But also, like you said, more so playing his life, forcing those spawns over at Elevator, grabbing those grenades, and holding down the pipes.
Now with Mental gaining a camo here. It's going to give his team so much information, potentially, but 2 players down now. So the camo player is going to need to make some magic happen. He's got a teammate there, but he gets sussed out. Oh, the camo eyes on Taulek. Caught him. Beautifully done. As the ball's now going to be over toward Hydro. Gets played, so that is going to just all this effort that Native Red, or excuse me, that Shopify Rebellion put toward trying to get this ball back ain't going to work out that well for them. But they got to get this ball possession. 1 second remaining. No need to grab it because you had 2 points on the advantage. And that could have gone down to the wire and been quite problematic.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at how these games, or this round, are just ending off of slays.
Yeah.
Neither of these teams going for full-on steps, just showing how
And they're
evenly
even.
matched these are.
They're even in slays, by the way, 50-49.
That adds up. Makes sense, because that looks so evenly matched, so back and forth there. We continue to see that too as well throughout game number 2. We saw Street Slayer. We just saw so many times that neither of these teams were completely dominant and getting them on a spawn trap instead of trade for trade for trade.
Yeah, a lot of these teams have been on a path of improvement in a very, parallel sense, because you've been seeing like Native Red had to pick up a player, had to incorporate that player. Same thing for Shopify. Had to incorporate this lineup together, make it work, right? Like, we sometimes forget that like Shopify Rebellion, very young team, like as far as like the time that they've been together. And for Native Red, they've had that time, but they're trying to pick up these pieces. The fact that they're so close to one another just goes to show the talent that is on that stage.
Yeah, and a couple of the, obviously Native Red, the majority of this roster has proven itself together all throughout last season. Whereas Shopify, we kind of have some newer blood, I almost want to say, in Halo at the highest level. Someone like Cykul hasn't gotten these sort of chances on these top teams.
Yeah.
Mental making the move on over from Gears of War,
Yeah.
and
And he's been a Rebellion holdout the whole time.
Incredibly great, but yeah, we don't have the same sort of level of history and years at the higher level of competitive Halo that we do compared to Native Red.
Yeah. And even then, though, it's been an impressive series. 1-1 in the count if you're just joining us here. Both teams laying it all out here on the main stage. These are the type of series that get me really excited, just as a nerd for Halo, because I know the amount of work that these squads put into it. You see it in the scrims, when you see it pop up on Halo Data Hive, you see like how many games these guys are playing. That time, that work is being put in, and it's reflected. It is reflected in this series. It's reflected in their placements as well. And RyaNoob now, good call. Tell Cykul, hey, I got a guy over here, need him to clean it up. And then they had another player right for the picking as well. This is going to be a 3-kill swing. Beautifully done.
Also, just that backup doesn't trade the melee and trade a kill. Realizing he has a significant advantage. Backs away, finishes off the BR shot. Many players there default just going straight for the melee to make sure they secure the kill.
Press is going to be by himself on an island as 3 of his players are over toward gold, excuse me. 25-13. You would think with the way that, honestly, with the way that Native Red have been playing, you would think that the score would be a little bit higher, given that it feels like Rebellion have kind of been shut down over and over again.
A lot of times you like look at any sort of RyaNoob rush, like, oh, they're going to be objective efficient. Anytime they're even in slaves, they're going to come out ahead of objective, but like, not quite the exact case here on this game. Also, keep in mind, like you said, Native Red favored in this from how well they've been, or from their record in the 2023 season. I also slightly misspoke for game number 4. Game number 4 actually is in favor of Shopify Rebellion. I believe they're like 2-1 on Solitude versus Native Red's like 1-2 or something like that. So it's very, very close.
Yeah, and
so not a huge data set for that one.
Nothing shocks me with that though, because Native Red, Native White, as well as Shopify Rebellion, 2 teams that sit very closely against each other in the, I guess in the ladder of professional Halo, if you will. RyaNoob looking to make a play to bring this ball over toward Hydro. Gets it pretty far in though, but there's no one there to pick up the ball. So now you're really going to need to just zone out, get these kills, and then try and see if you can get some benefit out of this one here, because with that ball low, 2 blue members are going to be located on the blue side of the map. Massive fight here as SoulSnipe. He thought he was going to get challenged, but suppressed. Smart play. Plays the ball, dishes it out because he knows he was going to die out of that one. You don't want to give that up.
Yeah, gotta get those play balls where needed. We were critical of the one time Native Red did not play it from elevator, which made that game even closer in the favor of Shopify. But seems to kind of be business as usual here for Native Red. They're doing a great job trading out slays. Every once in a while, they get the setup that gives them 10 to 30 seconds of time, and then they go right back to slaying.
Yep. It's a system that's been working out for them. Perhaps Rebellion have wisened up to it a little bit. Good toss-up over to the bat ledge there. He's got teammates spawning up top gold too, but that's going to get knocked right back down. Love the ball physics. Manny, he sees elevator open. He's going to go right
bat
with it.
ledge did not seem to work so well for them. I'm going to take a little bit of a different route here.
Enemy has the ball.
We're starting to see a little bit more dominance here.
A little more control.
From Native Red, they're getting the slays, they're on the ball, they're rotating it a little bit. Like, they just seem to have kind of everything going on for them. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them play this soon, but what a wacky little battle back and forth.
Yeah, actually, no, I was going to say, had you stayed alive out of that one, I think it was SoulSnipe.
No play ball?
Oh, that's right, no play ball. So you're still going to be tracking the side. But you have members that are just still stuck inside of gold. So this is going to be a little bit of a tug of war here if Shopify Rebellion decide to go for this one. But I like the fact he's going to use the green gun, drain those shields because of the fast fire rate of that pistol. Did they get the ball out of there, though? They did manage to take it out.
Guess it doesn't matter when you go to slays, but like hard not to argue and say if you have the teammates over at elevator, that you rotate the ball towards elevator, or you need to just play that ball in the center. So feels like Native Red seem to opt a lot of times for drop the ball and get the damage, get the slays. I mean, they did so well holding there for a long time in pipes, and I mean, arguably they came out ahead in slays throughout this entire exchange.
And with 36 seconds left on the clock.
That would have been a massive mistake if you said 35 seconds.
I know, how dare I?
That would have been
now we're at 34, I'm a criminal. But look, this is where things get really, really dangerous for Rebellion, because the reality of the situation is you got camo, you have positioning, you have ball, and on top of that, you have a Rebellion team that is simply just playing catch up. The fifth man is on the field and his name's the clock. Time McSteven. I don't know, I just made up a name. But he's winning.
And just slays galore there for Native Red. They're gonna try to play this clock out. They realize 15 seconds left. If they can just get a few more kills in Shopify Rebellion, clock's going to drain, and they're gonna be up 2-1 in this series.
Yeah, and with this positioning from Taulek, it'll be so difficult for these players to try and break this setup, and that is gonna do it as Native Red pick up map 3, 2-0. Look pretty solid doing it, and toward the end there, we started to see Native Red peel away with the slays, which was what we needed to see from them because it was so even the entire time.
Shopify, a little bit down, but certainly not out. They need to bounce back here in game number 4. I double-checked those stats.
You double-checked?
From the homie Easy Mac.
Cross the lines?
Yes.
Dotted your I's, cross your T's?
On Solitude King of the Hill for Shopify, whereas 1 in 3 for Native Red.
Ooh.
So that's a little more significant than the 2 to 1 and 1
That's
2.
true. That is
but
true.
Regardless, we're gonna have to see how they handle slaying against each other. Sometimes when you look at some of those stats, you gotta know who was it against. Who was it against in full play? Who was it against in bracket? There's a big difference there.
Yeah.
When you have a small sample size.
And it's not meant to be disparaging to any other team. It's just when you're in these tournaments, it's the small margins, right, that determine the best from the decent, you know? And I think if Shopify Rebellion and Native Red have proven anything, it's that when they need to, they can put that extra level into it. But I want a game 5. I'm gonna be honest, I want a game 5, you know?
I would love a game 5 as well. Now can Shopify Rebellion tie the series up and give it to us and the crowd? We'll find out. When I watched Shopify Rebellion play King of the Hill earlier, when they played against Native White, it was a domination. Game number 1 against Native White, they won 4-0 on Live Fire King of the Hill. We've seen some smart plays from Shopify Rebellion. Ducking out of the hill early. Sometimes not finishing the hill to make sure they have more control.
Yep.
They have some of these mid-maxes figured out, but do they have the bulk of the game figured out? Because if they cannot outslay and keep up with that pressure against Native Red, this is going to be the final game here for Shopify Rebellion in full play.
Yeah, it will be. So now, if you're Rebellion, you got to ask yourself a very simple question. Do you want to hold 2 L's against Native as an organization in one day? Or do you want to try and just force this game 5? Get yourself back into the game, and if there's a squad to do it, most certainly will be Shopify Rebellion. Let's see how this King of the Hill Plaza game works out. Or Solitude, excuse me.
Good, there we got 2 kills coming up for Shopify Rebellion. Let's see how quickly they jump on the hill, and there it is. RyaNoob not only has the hill, he has the QT, he has the sniper. And I'm gonna see him move away from it, but it looks like he wants to teleport back in the same location.
Oh, interesting. So he didn't move, but he uses. I'm gonna ask him this. If he's using the QT, it's kind of like a
phase shift.
Yeah, like an invincibility. Oh my God, frame, like an iframe.
Yeah.
That you have in fighting games. I wonder if that's actually what he's trying to do there.
Eventually. And then me and GB were making this joke earlier. We're like wondering when teleportation's embedded later, if it's going to be like more expensive to teleport someone further.
And I told Dave that I will buy it no matter what.
Yeah. GB's going to buy it. He's like, I'm teleporting on over to the kitchen. Be right back. One second.
Dude, can you imagine? That'd be sick. Anyway, let's see. Let's see how Native Red get themselves back in with the lead here. Because currently, Shopify Rebellion, just a slight bit of control. But it does feel like Rebellion have patrolled the middle portion of the map a fair amount more than Native Red have. If anything, feels like Native Red, every time I'm going on one of their perspectives, they're always fighting from like, half shields or from a really bad position. And that's a credit to Shopify Rebellion because we wanted to see them slay, and they're doing just that at the early part of this game. Yeah,
they got the slays, but also a bit concerning from, it felt like Shopify had a strong start, but you look at the hill time, and it's very even right now.
Yeah.
A little too close for comfort for what you consider a great start there for Shopify Rebellion. So we're going to have to see if they can close out this very first hill. Looking real good.
So far,
looking
but
mighty good.
Yeah, I saw. Actually, it does look like Native Red are going to go for a little bit of a pincer here. Few angles each side of the map, try and force those players off. QT still going to be up for grabs, and it is going to be possessed by Rayne, who gets cleaned up immediately. So I think QT's still up if he hadn't popped it yet. Meanwhile, mid still going to be available. RyaNoob needs some help over toward Yard. And even though he ends up dying there, takes one with him. It's going to allow Cykul to get another kill out of this one. Big 1v1 battle and a drift across, and nicely done. A double kill also is getting at that point.
All 4 down for Native Red. That means Shopify are going to charge on over, take up all the positions they want. I'm surprised that they all went into Yard rather than taking a little bit more ground here. Maybe they were just a little concerned about the push directly from Market immediately. Shoot suppressed out in the center of the map for an easy kill and ego challenges, because why not? We're at Worlds.
Yeah, but you know what, an interesting thing to that too that I'm quite interested in is whether or not they decided to do that because they knew that those spawns are going to be coming from the snipe side. And to be frank, like that area to push is not the best for this particular hill. So it kind of changes you know, the map a little bit there when the hill moves over toward the driveway and then you have a bunch of people spawning on the opposite side of the map. Don't give them any yard control, and so far that plan has been working out for Rebellion. Here comes the cafe push though. This is where things can start to fall apart if Rebellion loses fight.
Yeah, Rebellion just still in such a strong position though. They have about 80% of this hill, still racking up a few points. That's going to be hill number 2 going for Shopify Rebellion.
That was clean, very well executed, and that literally started off of the jump. Once that hill moved over to the yard, they were prepared for it. And they have another position here as well to just overlook onto this dip hill, and this has just been meticulous from Shopify Rebellion, which is, you know, for the most part, what we were praising them when we were commentating them against Native White earlier on. They were doing the same exact thing, really just putting the pressure on their opponents in King of the Hill here.
See what Native Red can do here in the dip hill, though. They've gotten outclassed in the first 2 hills. They finally got a little bit more control on the map. Got them trapped over towards bottom snipe tower, just racking up kills, racking up time.
It's a very
I like the fact
situation.
that they're not wasting a lot of time here. Sometimes what happens is the team gets up like 2-0 in hill, and then there's too much back and forth, and before you know it, the other team can play the clock. Not the option here just yet. Native Red reacted way too quick, and they're so close to putting their first point on the board.
And they have a decent amount of map control here, but Taulek's going to have to value his life. He'll be going into a potential 1v1 in a moment against a player that's going to charge inside of the dip. Watch out, though, because Rayne from behind. Well, not for Taulek. You won't have to worry too much about that. But doesn't need to abandon that position because he was getting pressured. I believe that was going to be from Catwalk there or from LR. A trade now comes through. You got the cafe side of the map that looks kind of all right for Shopify, but really the point of this, the objective, the hill, and Native Red are going to secure this one, putting one on the board.
Yeah, Taulek, seeing if anyone's pushing on over from Loop. A bit surprised to see this much reposition, but looks like he's more so going to where the opponents are rather than setting up where the hill is. I don't hate this play until that happens.
So you get blown up.
Right? Like, he was in a prime position to catch him off guard. They're not going to expect someone to come out over through LR tunnel or jump on up through Loop. Not sure if he was spotted out through like glass somewhere or somebody just saw him somehow, because that nade from Cykul was a little random.
Yeah, everyone's got a plan until they blow up. True story. Fact of life. Happens to the best of us. Taulek living inside of this yard area as he's getting some support from his teammates. And there's Manny with 2 of his own. Native Red really just kind of, I would even say a little bit baffled at this point because it's been a completely different look from Rebellion thus far. They've been strong in the slay, strong in their positioning game. They've been setting up early for a lot of these as well. They've been doing a lot of things right, checking the boxes.
Look at this patience for Manny.
Yeah.
Not jumping right in that sniper. Knows that when players are spawning over towards Market or Cafe, that they are going to be throwing their grenades, laying down shots. And it's not about touching the sniper. It's about grabbing that weapon and getting to a safe position. Unsuccessful that time around.
Yeah, now that Rayne has the sniper, and he's going to be in a beautiful position, S3, just watching this. Well, they thought that there was going to be one player at Cafe that might have fallen victim off that one there, but a body tag. They're going to continue to add on to this. Wow. Beautiful shot from Rayne. Watch out for the player on the lift, though. Another one toward LR, back elevator. As they win that fight, I think he ended up losing that one there, so that's quite unfortunate as Rayne's been doing a lot of work here, but he's got a teammate off the spawn. So now they can start this push over toward from loot side into the hill.
This one's going to be difficult. If either team loses, it's going to be a heartbreaker. Right here, you see Shopify trying to get the last moments in it. This fight over at Poster's going to decide who gets it. And that's going to be Shopify Rebellion. Up 3-1 here in game number 4.
The Rebellion living up to their name. They're not going down without a fight. Exactly what you expect from those 4 players. And everything is clicking right now. They're outslaying Native Red a considerable amount, 54-37. And on top of that, they also have possession of the QT2. So this is going to give a player like RyaNoob a lot of free pushes if he wants to just take full advantage of this. Or you can just use it to juke around.
Well, now we're starting to get to the point where time can start to be ran out. And I'm not sure if this is purposeful from Shopify Rebellion as they're going for their slays, if they want either more control or they're trying to drain this clock. But either one is an option right now. Shopify almost cannot make the incorrect decision here. As long as they're killing or grabbing time, they're fine.
And so far, so good. The clock keeps ticking. They're spawning toward Yard as well, Dave. And RyaNoob's got the Crossing Cafe, so this is going to be, oh, that hurts. He tags him for 1. Can they break out of that, though? I haven't seen any kills go through quite yet. That's going to be the tag that RyaNoob got onto Manny, and that's 2 down each side, though. But what makes it even worse is that this time just keeps ticking, and every one of those trades just works out poorly for Native Red.
Yeah, I like that play from Rayne, looking all the way even towards Yard or driveway, see if you can just catch someone off unsuspecting, just sprinting out, trying to get back in the fight. Because any kill that they can get, any staggering that they can get is just going to drain more time off the clock. The play is clear now. Shopify Rebellion, they're not going for the 4th cap. They're going for the slays, and they want time to run out to win this game.
And you know what? It looks like it could work out for them. Now with Mental Crossing, they know that he's going to be tucked away inside of the hotel here, which is why they're sending every grenade that they have available here. And Mental knows this too. So he tries to hold this one off, but gets squared out there by 2 players from Native Red. Meanwhile, Cykul, he's just continuing to patrol around this. 15 seconds remaining. A double kill there for Taulek maybe gives them an opportunity, but he's going to get wiped out so quickly. That really, Rebellion, if they give up anything here, it'd be a shocker. That's not going to be the case. And folks, we are going to a game 5. Shopify Rebellion, Native Red. I don't know what it is with the Rebellion. They really like to go to game 5s against Native.
They want to get the most out of their pool play matches here against Native White and Native Red. Game 5, like you said, it's going to be decided right on that. It's going to be a live fire slayer for game 5.
I like that. That's a fast one.
You want to know the records on this one?
Sure, Dave. Let me know.
6-4 for Shopify Rebellion. For Native Red, 6-5.
Oh my goodness.
Couldn't be much more evenly matched than that, GB.
Goodness. This is good. Good series that we've been treated to here.
Look at the young gun Cykul stepping up for squad, 21-10. We talked about how Shopify Rebellion, they need to match some of that slaying power. They need to fire back.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. When you're bringing on someone newer to the roster, someone who's maybe doesn't have the same sort of experience and history on the main stage, you're bringing that player in because you're saying, I see something in you. I see your skill. I see your talent. And when push comes to shove and people start swinging, you're coming out ahead in those fights.
Yeah, for real. And I think that being able to surround yourself with veterans like Rayne, RyaNoob, and let's not forget Mental. Because even though Mental, it wasn't a Halo pro, this guy's
got main stage experience.
Championship Gears of War player. This guy is I actually went on one of the greatest runs in the history of that game. So, you know, you're talking about champions that are on that stage. People who know how to win. Cykul's definitely surrounded himself with some high-quality talent. But speaking of that, we go over to the C station here because we have a 2-0 lead for Na'Vi presently as they're facing off against LVT. Seems like Na'Vi won that Strongholds game. That went out of the wire.
That close Strongholds game, able to close it out and continue running with that momentum. We see Na'Vi already up 1 round here in Oddball, a few seconds as well. Now, what can Diagram do about that? He has camo. Can he push the enemy lines? He's just been spotted out.
That's
flying around there. Glory.
Did find out that the score in that particular Strongholds game that we had to leave out, 250-248. So yeah, that got down to the wire.
Yeah, that got real close. That got real close.
Wait, wasn't LVT up? I believe LVT was up in that one too. Yeah, they were. Shout out to Chris, our producer in the back, just like giving me all the info. She watches more Halo than pretty much anyone else.
We do have an incredible squad here, but let's see. Like we said, maybe LVT a little shaken up after that game 1 comeback. They need to stop this now. Like we said, this could be their tournament life at stake.
And these
The match here against Na'Vi, yes, other wins are possible, but let's be real. Na'Vi and LVT are the bottom 2 ranked teams in the school.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Quadrant phase, clearly the favorites.
Yeah. So really, like, it's an unfortunate draw, but also you know that these matches are not going to be easy at all. And if anything, it's kind of a credit to Na'Vi because, I mean, a little heartbroken for them too, for my boy Jimbo and Wonder Boy, because they very much could have been right there with that win against Quadrant. Would have really just shaken the group to its core, honestly. But, you know, this is the situation that they find themselves in, not unfamiliar territory, really for either team who've been in these spots before, whether for LVT, it's players in previous teams, Na'Vi, this team completely. Exactly, like, there really is just a lot of experience on that stage in Halo Infinite, and now we got to see who has the better ideas here, and who really has what it takes to try and force this one. Does LVT have what it takes to bring this one back? Because I think they do.
Yeah,
I want to believe.
I want to believe that as well. I've seen from LVT these shining moments, these times where they just go on amazing sprees and they get these incredible upsets. I don't know if they need the momentum before to make that happen, or if they can dig deep and make that happen when they are down.
Yeah, and
we're about to find out.
We also forget too that, you know, the LVT lineup, like, these are players that we've seen scattered across teams throughout the HCS. So if anything, it's even better that these players coming together, kind of doing what Native did, which was just find like hungry amateur players that can play at that incredibly high level and then put them in these situations. That's what LVT did, and I think it's been working out really well for them. Even if they are, you know, down in their group, they're still showing that they can hang here. Because if you look at the scrim results, I mean, LVT were looking pretty damn good coming into this event.
They were absolutely phenomenal.
Those are scrims.
But we got our main stage matchup. If you want to see what will likely be a miraculous comeback since we had that happen last time we left, go back to twitch.tv/HCSRed and you can check out the remainder of that game number 3.
Just keep taking us away, you know? I have to go back and watch the VOD. I want to see what happened in that Strongholds game, man. Must have been nuts. But here we go. Let's focus on the main stage as we have Game 5. Rebellion, Native Red. Massive implications for this game right here. It's a 3-team group, and 2 of those teams are part of the same organization. So Shopify Rebellion has had to deal with nothing but Native teams all day.
And they have quite the battle in their hands as this is the second Game 5, like you said, today, let alone back-to-back here against the Native Gaming Organization. 3-0 start here for Native Red. Shopify Rebellion answering with a couple kills of their own. Gonna find out what's happening with this OS here in 5 seconds, and both these teams gotta be fighting for it.
Yeah, they are, and that's actually why this tussle is happening to begin with. Oh, fascinating there. So you play the smoke over towards sandbags and really just throw off that vision for any players that are gonna be jumping. Interesting. That was pretty cool. Taulek now. He's got himself the snipe. He's got himself over shield. Pretty much has everything you could possibly want in a Slayer game, and now time to see if Taulek can put the snipe to good use.
Doesn't have a reloaded BR though. Doesn't come back to fight him.
No, it doesn't. Yeah,
but now he does. Now it might too. All right.
Ah, there you go. So you're preying on his downfall, Dave.
No,
that's
just wanted to, you know, highlight one of the important fundamentals of reloading your weapons when you have the opportunities.
That is true. I have gotten caught many a time with with no bullets left in the chamber there, but Native Red, 11-8. They have a fragile lead at the beginning of the game. 3 kills separate them. Scratch that. As I mentioned, it's fragile. 1 now. Native Red trying to just hold on to the lead as much as they can, and you know, because it still feels good when you're like holding on to that and you're trading kills and going toe for toe with them. But really, what happens so many times, Dave, and we've seen it happen, is you get to this midpoint, and then whoever was like popping off, oh man, they start to struggle.
Yeah, they start to feed a couple extra kills.
Yeah.
They give up their advantage.
Get a little overzealous, you know.
Yeah. So the fact that Shopify Rebellion, they've kept this really close, despite there being an early OS grab there for Native Red. What's going to happen if they get their foot back in this? 1 kill game, Rayne gonna go for this first power up here in favor of Shopify. Does not jump on it right away. Buys time for his teammate. Doesn't give the free kill. And that's gonna be OS going in the hands of Shopify Rebellion. Let the battle begin.
Yeah, but they burned the hell out of that overshield real fast.
All 4 down for Native Red. Rayne, the only one dropping there for Shopify Rebellion. 4-1 trade, and we now have a lead here for Shopify Rebellion, and they're not stepping off the gas. They're charging for the spawn kills.
They know where they're going to be popping up as well. They're prepared for this. Those spawns more than likely over toward the open area. You also have it toward B side as well.
I was surprised they didn't have a dummy there.
Sorry, garage. Yeah, you're right.
Surprised they didn't have a dummy, but looks like they got on over towards B or green once again, and the battle of the garage continues.
Yeah, these guys really like this building, but it is a important area to be able to hold in, and you can also funnel a lot of players in there. That's literally what happened in that last play there. Native Red all spawned over toward green side, charged across inside of garage, and RyaNoob on the flank more than prepared. They knew exactly where those players were going to move off spawn.
Here on Live Fire in every game, it's a continuous battle for the garage. I unfortunately have lost that battle this one time at my own house for the battle of the garage. I have to park on the street, and it's not a continued battle. It's just a settled battle. So,
well, that's because
I have a worse car.
Yeah.
If you want to call it how it is, I have the worst car.
Oh, man, step up your stuff, Dave. Come on, Speaking of stepping up, Shopify Rebellion have done just that. What a run they're going on here, 30-18. And you're right, Dave. You said Shopify Rebellion started things off. They were getting hot. They are not letting their foot off the pedal. Every time we see a member of Rebellion, they're in the face of one of the Native Red players. And I'm almost certain Native Red, not very used to this, against teams that aren't like Quadrant or Optic. You got to give Rebellion their flowers here. Playing this one very well.
Just like that. What a snow scope there from Mental. Repping for this new OS. Rayne's got it. And just like his name says, coming from the sky, raining down here on these members of Native Red. So much pressure coming in over towards sandbags.
And look how much damage he's done, though. So many of these players are going to be 1 or 2 shots, so they have to slow down, which does not work in the favor of Native Red whatsoever, because you got Mental, 3 bullets in the chamber, and catches someone in the face, hoping that another one was going to challenge, but the members of Native Red rotating around.
What kind of spree is Mental on right now? I mean, last time he caught me off guard, he went on a killing frenzy without me even realizing it. But he's had the sniper. He has hit so many no-scopes. He's done so much damage. He is absolutely crushing it.
10. He's on 10.
He already got the killing frenzy. So for the second time this tournament, he's got the killing frenzy without me even being aware of it.
This guy just stays alive. What a run he went on there. 10 frags in a row, 39-25. And this is what happened in the Native White game. Mental had a hot start, but then slowed down. Good to see Mental really just, despite the strong start that they had, that momentum, that push, keeps going. They don't let up.
The other highlight I'll bring, last series, Mental had a killing frenzy on Recharge Slayer. But Shopify Rebellion, despite having a 10-kill lead at one point, dropped that game.
Yeah.
Is history going to come back to bite them? They have a 12-kill lead right now. Are they going to falter once again, or can they clutch it up and close this one out?
They got to get these kills here.
That is
good
a
recovery.
Misstep right there. 4 down. Native Red only dropping 1 member. That gap, 11 before. Now just a 9-kill lead.
Dave, it's like you put it out into the universe, and I feel like it could happen. And that is dangerous, man. But it's 10 kills, 11 now. They're trying to just come back into this one, Native Red. This overshield is going to be very important for them, and they do manage to gain possession of it. Sniper's going to be up for grabs as well. Rayne has eyes on it, and he's dancing around these pillars here. Is anyone there to help him out? Rayne with the double. Manny with the double kill, off of Rayne. But is it going to be enough? They're going to be down by 7 kills here.
I like this continuous pressure here from Native Red. You don't want to get this slowed down too much. Yes, you got to be careful about your lives. Yes, you can't just leak or bleed a couple free deaths. But at the same time, you can't just let Shopify Rebellion do a perfectly coordinated push at their whim on their own time.
I want to see Native get back into this one. It's very possible for them to do it. But Rebellion, great shutdown there. And for every single trade that comes through in the favor of, well, for every trade that happens, it just works out for Rebellion, period, because of the scoreboard.
I love that play. He dropped the snipe over towards the C plat for his teammates to grab and decided to push all the way over towards Nest. A lot of times we see people dropping that weapon once they're like face off with someone else. They're like, all right, I see you, we made eye contact, I'm gonna hand this off, you're gonna give me credit for this.
There it is. There it is. One kill was all they needed, and they were able to get it. But you're right, Dave. It was those smart plays that RyaNoob makes at the end of that game. Opens up the map for his teammates. Really, I think Rebellion have a lot to be proud of here because they could have very well won that Native Light series. Not taking anything away from Native Light, fantastic team. But it has to feel good to kind of stabilize here and get that win.
All I know is this pool just got a heck of a lot more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know what's going to happen. Native Red clearly favored against Native White. If they beat them, I'm not envious of the TOs having to go through all those tiebreakers to figure out who goes where in what positions.
Yeah, man, the stats are going to be wild. Everyone's going to be combing over those numbers. But for now, though, the day belongs to Shopify Rebellion. Having fallen to Native White previously, they get their revenge on their brother team, Native Red, and they pull off a massive win. And you're right, Dave, this group has now just been blown wide open. We'll see what happens with Native Red, Native White. That game's gonna pop off. But for now, that's gonna do it for myself and Dave. Always a pleasure. Lottie, what do you think of that series, bro?